Hello everybody, this is Andre from Juwan Fitness once again. So I hope that you're having a wonderful Friday so far. So what are you doing for Labor Day weekend? Like, what are your plans? Are you going to the beach, hanging out with friends, going to bars, clubs, or are you just hanging out with your family and friends having a cookout? Because for me, what I'm doing, I just found out my parents are actually coming over for Labor Day, so I'm just going to have some food with them, you know, fried chicken, barbecue wings, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and a few snacks. And I'm going to kick back and have a couple of drinks after they leave, of course, because my parents do not believe in drinking, so I'll just say that for after they leave. Now, the topic of this video is how to set up your calorie deficit for fat loss, because a lot of people have been asking me this, so I'm going to explain it. So the first thing is to drop your calories to no, because the problem is when you cut your calories under 1800, the problem, what's going to happen is it's going to be a lot harder for you to maintain that over a longer period of time. I mean, sure, at first, the first couple, 2-3 weeks, it'll be easy to do that, but eventually what's going to happen is you're going to hit this sticking point where the lower you drop your calories, you're not going to lose fat anymore because your body's going to be in starvation mode. So I had experience with this in the past where I was eating 1,300 calories and I just couldn't maintain it, and eventually what ended up happening was I just completely binged on my diet, and I don't want that to happen to you. So the main thing is you want to be in a moderate calorie deficit, so around 500 to 1,000 calories below maintenance, because that will allow you to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week without having to worry about losing muscle mass, as well as being ravenously hungry on top of all that. And plus, you won't feel like you're dieting. You'll be able to lose fat at a slow, moderate pace. And I want to say this, and this is a bonus topic, and that is stop eating 4 to 6 meals per day, because those small meals, they're not really going to keep you full. Because even if you do drink a lot of water, I tried it for a few months myself, where I was eating 4, 5, 6 meals, 7 meals a day, and I was eating every 2 or 3 hours, and I did not feel full after I ate. So the tip is to have big, satisfying meals that are full of carbs, healthful fats, and protein, because you'll be able to eat big, satisfying meals as well as stay full for hours afterwards, so you're not constantly eating all day. You can focus your energy on more important tasks. Now, number 2 is that you want to stop doing low carb and low fat diets, because the problem with if you do low carb, you're not going to have a lot of energy to train in the first place, and it's just a lot harder for you to boost muscle glycogen, as well as your testosterone levels are going to go down once you cut carbs. Even though a lot of people promote this and say that lowering your carbs can actually boost fat loss, which is true, but it's not sustainable for the most of us. You want to have an enjoyable diet with moderation. You don't want to cut out any macronutrients or lower them too much. Now, when it comes to low fat, the problem is fat is going to make your meals taste a lot better. When you cut fat too much, what's ends up going to happen is that your meals are going to be very bland. It's going to be really hard for you to enjoy it, as well as drops testosterone levels. And plus, healthful fat is what is going to allow you to stay full in between your meals and stuff like that. So make sure you want to have a moderate intake of that. So I would say that for carbs, have 40 to 45% of your calories come from them alone, and then when it comes to the healthful fats, have 30 to 35% of your calories come from them. And when it comes to protein, you want to make sure that is relatively constant. Like, regardless of what you're cutting, bulking, and maintaining, keep your protein at 20% of your calories, because at that range is going to really help you stay full between meals, and you will also allow your body to recover after rigorous training, exercise, and working out, as well as also going to help you maintain a muscle mass while you're cutting. And last but not least, before I go, is to actually track your food, man. Track your macros, the amount of calories you're eating, the foods, because if you're not tracking, it's going to be very difficult for you to lose fat for the long term. Number 1, I want to say is that at first you may be able to lose fat, but what's going to happen is you're going to flip-flop, where one day you could be in a calorie deficit, then the next day you could be in a surplus, and the other day you could be maintaining. So you want to make sure that your fat loss is consistent by tracking your calories with a fitness tracker such as MyFitnessPal, whatever that you want to use. Or if you don't want to use a tracker, like, all you have to do is just write this up down to the foods that you eat and the amount of calories and macros they contain to stay true with your goals, because consistency is key here to know what you're doing, because you don't want to be just guessing. That was my problem early on. I thought, tracking calories and macros was lame. It was very tedious. But once I started doing it, I was able to see my results much faster. And at a certain point, you'll be able to eyeball it, but I would still recommend that you track everything just to know where you are, including your workouts too, because there are going to be certain situations that you're not going to be able to, track your calories in that situation. Just eyeball, like, say if you're on vacation or something like that, or you try to put a food in the fitness tracker and it doesn't register, just don't worry about that. But at least 90 to 95% of the time, just track everything. And those are all the 3 tips I have for you before I go. If you have any more questions, then feel free to let me know. We got a discussion about it. And remember that moderation is key to all this fat loss stuff. Don't try to lose fat too fast and be in a hurry. to compare yourself to these Instagram models or your friends that are more lean and strong than you. Just focus on your individual journey, enjoy the process, and become the best version of yourself that you can. So that's it for this video. I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Now, to follow me on other social media, check out my Instagram, which is Andre Suave. And there I talk about tips on fat loss. I have infographics on helping you know which foods are best for you, as well as keep you full and satiated, black coffee, as well as nutrition tips and fitness goals that you can reach. And you can also get my free 30-day fat loss program, which is in the link to the description for YouTube. So definitely check that. And you'll be able to sign the email form. You'll be able to, I have an email form there, and all you have to do is just sign up, and eventually, all you have to do is sign up, and once I get a confirmation that you actually filled out the form, then I'll send you an email personally, and then I'll be able to send you a program which you can be able to lose 5 to 10 pounds in the next 30 days. Would it be freaking awesome? You'll look more confident, you're going to feel better as well, and just have more energy. And to follow me on my Facebook, I have 2 accounts there. So my first account is my personal, which is Andre Brown. So feel free to send me a friend request anytime, and I'll be able to respond to it. And then you can really get my tips on fitness tips of the day, as well as staying motivated on your grind and becoming the best version of yourself. And also share articles at least 1 or 2 times a week where I can actually help you on more motivating tips. And last but not least, you can check out my own community, which is Jawan Exercise Health Community, and there I talk about tips on motivation, achievement, goal setting, as well as sharing some articles and some tips that you can use to really help benefit your life and get the body that you want. And last but not least, before I go, I actually want to say that make sure that you turn the notifications on YouTube so that you know that I have a video coming out, because that means you can watch it. And be sure to share with your friends and family, everybody that you know, because the more people that see this stuff, the more people are going to know about fitness, as well as helping to build a body that you want. And I want to help as many people as possible. So that's all I have for you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be doing an Instagram video either later on, and definitely one tomorrow for sure, which I can't tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I will see you then.